welcome to Social Sessions. Today we have Paul Barrett, who has went from prison to being founder of the charity Addicted to Life. His story is inspiring and hopefully you will enjoy it. So welcome to Social Sessions. Today I'm joined with the founder of the charity Addicted to Life, Paul. So I'm just going to do what I kind of do, take you back to your own kind of how you grew up, kind of stuff. It was Blantyre you grew up with it. What was that like growing up there?
It was alright in Blantyre, man. There wasn't much fuss at the area and that, but it was just the usual, man. It was about 30 years old and about, man. It was a kind of deprived area, so there wasn't the usual kind of hang-ups, kind of rough scheme, you know what I mean? It was all one man in and out building sites and that when we were younger. The drugs never came into really till we were about 14 kind of hang, you know what I mean?
So did you kind of have like a good years at school and stuff like that?
School and that, like I had a good upbringing. That like I've got a brother, two brothers and a sister. Mum and dad, it was all us. We had everything we ever wanted. We weren't loaded or anything like that, but we had everything we ever needed. You know what I mean? It was like that. Good life with holidays and all that shit. It was good. You know what I mean?
So I mean, obviously we get different people with different backgrounds and stuff. A lot of the time, addiction follows with trauma and stuff like that. But in your case, that's not the case. But we'll get onto that a wee bit later. But how did you kind of at school and that? Was you just drinking and stuff? 13, 14?
At school, like with trauma, I never really had trauma, but I did have losses in life early. Like my uncle, he died with an overdose with heroin, and my granddad died with an alcohol addiction. He died through the drink. I never started the drugs till it was high school, really smoking. It was smoking hash, buckets and that, doing the was buying a fiver bit every morning before we went to school and stuff like that.
So what was that like, obviously losing two kind of close people to addiction? Did that set you up in life for that kind of way of wanting to help people and stuff at some point? Is that kind of...
See, that didn't really affect me when I was kind of younger. I don't really, because it was kind of hid out the way for me. Like they never took us out, my granddad's and that, because he was drunk and my uncle wasn't allowed to because he was taking all sorts of stuff, blues and all that. But my addiction never really kind of kicked into a wee bit later in life.
So what age were you? So obviously I smoked hash, stuff like that. What age were you when you started?
I never started smoking it till I was about 14. And as I say, it was just buckets and all that to start with. And
was it just that kind of experimental stage?
It was it was Hunter's Day's day, and it was just one of the ones trying to fit in with the rest of the crew. I wasn't really, they were all taking it to start with, and then I was like, fuck it, I'll do it, man. And then we were all doing it, man, about 30 years all smoking it.
I think it's when you're at school, there's a lot of stuff going on that, especially I done a drug awareness course the other week and I was shocked at the amount of drugs that kids are getting offered these days and stuff. And I don't know, obviously you're a bit younger than me, Paul, but was there hard drugs going about when you were at high school?
When I was at high school, we never had anything about it as nowadays. Like, I'm getting into like meetings and stuff and that, people saying their brains getting found out, they're taking street Valium as young as 8 and all that. And that's maybe boys 8, you know what I mean? It's fucking sad.
No, I mean... Like, I remember drugs kind of coming on the scene, like, I don't know, maybe 3rd or 4th year when the wee raves and that came in. There was like a couple of guys in the school that maybe took an eckie or something. You know what I mean?
Well, there was that was hit, but there was one lassie, in fact, when I was growing up in school, and it was one Holly that took an eckie in school. You know what I mean?
It was a pure big king, wasn't it? It's fucking mad. I know. And so... Obviously, taking you up to like, was it just a kind of normal upbringing? Did you work and stuff like that? Were you working in...
When I left school, I never done my exams or it, and I ended up getting expelled. They said I was selling the hash and all that, doing the wids in the school, and I wasn't, you know, I was taking every cunt doing getting them stoned.
You know what I
mean? After school, I left and I started working the bakers up at my bit, and it was scraping pans on Saturday mornings and all that. And then a job with the council came up. And sorry, I'll go back a wee bit. When I was 17, that's when I'd started kind of dabbling on harder drugs, and I took my first eckie and that then, and then I wasn't really a drinker or that, Sean. A lot of my pals were drinking through they were like 14 and stuff, and my mum that was kind of strict, so I wasn't into, and I was only into smoking hash. I knew I never really get caught with that if I stayed out for so many years. But I went into drinking, so I never started drinking till I was about 16, 17. And it was at the park and then it ended up gaffs kind of hang out on weekends and that's when I tried my first eckie, and I got into the eckies and that. We were all running about, it was Friday to Saturday, all mad with it and all that, and then I started my first line of coke, and that's end up hook, line and sinker with that.
I know. I think it's a big problem now, but because obviously I always kind of think that when you get to that stage, there's a lack of connection somewhere, right? That's what I always kind of say where addiction is allowed to creep in, right? Where you're maybe trying to get. So was it more like? Do you think you were just trying to get that connection and validated for your kind of peers and stuff?
I was trying to kind of maybe fit in, but also like, I was a wee fat bean and all that all my life. Like, I was quite a fat bean, you know what I mean?
Like me.
so I used to worry about people thought about me. So I don't know if like, the drugs made me feel better in my own skin kind of thing, you know what I mean? So it kind of started with that, and then you end up taking the drugs and you lose all the weight, and you end up hating yourself anyway because of the way you look. So you can't fucking win, man.
No, but I think that's probably where you could look back at it then, and you can look back and go, maybe your lack of self-esteem at a young age, and that's maybe being able to mask it, because there's always a reason. Very rarely I've never met anybody yet that's been had an addiction problem
and they've just picked it up. No, definitely.
It chooses you.
No,
do you know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
to a certain extent, do you know what I mean? And I think it's that way where you've obviously just been involved in that. So was it, you started drinking and then obviously was there trouble started in that? Was it just like that kind of normal?
Running about the streets and that, I'd get to jail and all that a couple of times, just stupid things and that to start with. And then I'd got my job as I started as a grass cutter to start with South Lanarkshire Council, and ended up a bin man with them. Ended up getting a job with that. But my addiction kind of
It's a good wee number, is it? I mean, there's a lot of addiction in it,
life,
but,
I mean, but that's where my addiction spiraled, man. So like, I was taking big bags of gear in. The full year was fucked with stuff, you know what I mean? Whether it be drink, drugs, something.
I know it's one of the. It is a job that's well known for like drinking and people with 6 cans at 6 in the morning and all that. I know. But I mean, it's just again, it's what your peer group is into and stuff like that. So can you pinpoint where you think that things started spiraling? Can you pinpoint it? Can you like?
Probably I'd got a season booking that with Celtic, and for there, like, I'd started to get big bills when I'd just get my season booked. Like, I had my first big bill for my 18th birthday, and I only had I only had £80 that day, and it was £1,000, and that was the first time I had to fall back on my family kind of thing. When I started, obviously they'd go to Pride and all that, but my using was gone for Friday to Saturday to Friday to Sunday, and then before you know it, it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday waking up. And that was all going to when I was going to just start thinking about the Celtic games. I ended up getting the jail up at Dundee away game. Fucking a nightmare to appear up there 4 times and supporters busting out to wait. Like, God for everything, man. After that, the kind of thing, I'd started to steal to fund my habit and stuff like that off my family. Just anything at all to fund my habit. I was getting loans. I was stealing jewellery off my field, just pure low stuff. You can do it to cash generators, cashing it all in. Going up buying the coke and all that, but by that time I was putting in my monthly wage, my mom's monthly, everybody else's wages just to fund my habit. I had a brand new motor, just go at the time, and I ended up writing it off and sniffed the check and all that. Two brand new motors I got, done that with that, and that's when I started to think I was a bit of a boy and all that with the gear, and going to pie hunts and all that, and guys were coming out and were coming in and were trying to show off their money, and that was it. I thought I was the man. I was taxing their gear, and that's when the offending get right bad after that.
I know. I think it's dead easy, and it's dead easy to get caught up in that life in that way that you're kind of thinking it's something that you know, especially when you're full of coke and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It gives you that kind of, I don't know, a feeling of, well, it's giving you that feeling of kind of invincibility, isn't it? And then obviously, I've spoke to you kind of previously about things before, like just on and off, but I know you started getting to Valium, and that's even worse. Do you know what I mean? The way that comes in, and you think
totally
you're invisible on that. Do you know what I mean? You just don't know what you're doing. So can you? It's just that you obviously we're trying to just get to the root of. So it's the Celtic games. I mean, it's a kind of recurring theme that I kind of see quite a lot now. Is the football in Scotland is really associated heavily with drinking and drugs, and
I was only lasting 13 minutes at games, and I was like, my wee pal that Monday, and then we're going to the pub, and I wasn't caring even about it. I was just trying to get a bag and make sure I had a bag for going to the foot and a bag for coming home.
So it was like a day. It was just like a day out. I mean, see, I don't know what your bus is like when you go to the Celtic games. Everybody's drinking, and you're talking about Tuesday night sometimes. Like people are working the next day. The pub's open to 1 o'clock. I mean, the whole thing's revolving. Do you know what I mean? And then trying to do, as you say, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then maybe during the week game.
Back out on Tuesday, I know, man.
Then that's more days and you're on it and you're off it.
Aye,
do you know what I mean?
definitely, and
So,
the habits picking up as the days go on, man.
so can you see the way, can you look back and see where it started getting daily, or did it just creep in?
It started really when I was working with about the council and going to the Celtic games and that. It started to kind of get right bad, kind of thing, you know what I mean? That's when that's
How much
obviously...
you talking a day, Paul?
It was only a couple of gram, and then it was a half quarter, and in the end of my using, man, it was a half. I never drank it, you know what I mean? It was dry sniffing, so I was running about like a fucking weirdo, and I was running about market and everything, man. No self-care, nothing, everything goes out the window.
What about, did you end up smoking that, right? Did you
See, that's one way I never smoked it, because they used to say once you smoke that, there's no going back, you know what I mean?
I know.
But I'd done everything else up to then, and I was right into downers, and especially when I get to jail and all that, you know.
I know. I think there's a massive problem with normalising of cocaine, I think, now, and I think it's one of these things where you've got to. I think alcohol's the worst drug out of them all, right? A day, I think alcohol causes the most damage, right? But for young people and stuff, I don't know if it's the strength of the coke, I don't know what it is, but it just seems to be getting a grip with a lot of young people, and I don't know. I know the shite that's in it, because I've seen the police reports, and you're getting these things called nitazines,
nitazines and xylazines and
all these things,
all sorts in it. I'm getting people messaging me now, and they're saying that was on their son's toxicology reports. He was only taking cocaine and Valium, and it's xylazine and nitazines and all that that's in them, and it's just killing. Fentanyl and that's been in them as well. I
know. And listen, I done a post on TikTok, and people were saying, you're full of shit, mate, and all that. Like, why would they put downers into an upper? And I'm like, obviously you can't talk to, I don't really talk to MD back on TikTok and that anyway, but you can't tell everybody on it, this is what's happening. You can only try and explain. But the misinformation that people are getting is that this isn't happening, do you know what I mean?
No, that's definitely, that's how they can't talk and all that after when they're taking the coke, and they're struggling to speak words, and that's just...
I know, because coke, really you should be
talking about a budget.
And I can't shut up, you know what I mean? And everybody's all kind of like you obviously seen it in houses before, and it's like everybody's all talking, and it's like you can't shut up, and then do you know what I mean? Then it'll run out, and that kind of crowd just shut up, do you know what I mean? And start smoking hash or whatever. But I mean, that was the way it was, even in the jail and all that. It was the exact same stuff, do you know what I mean? But I think the misinformation that young people are getting and stuff, and no getting the way that, because it's not even like it's not down to anybody's fault that this things are happening. This is much wider. This is coming for like you're talking cartels and stuff like that.
I know, that's how it's coming.
Do you know what I mean? It's a lot cheaper. So why would they know that? Do you know? It's a lot cheaper to put shite in it than put real stuff in it. Do you know what I mean? So why would they know that? These people don't care. They're like in Mexico, do you know what I mean?
They're not giving a fuck who's dropping DDAP it all there.
No, and I know for a fact that it's just the drug deaths have went up 10% this quarter, and it's frightening to know that this is going on round about, and I don't think nitazines and that have even hit yet.
No properly.
Do you know what I mean? They have obviously hit the pockets and different
and
stuff,
bobs.
but they've no hit the way they've gone in, and I don't know what. Just Scotland's culture into it.
It's socially acceptable now to have a line in that at the weekend, or even during the week. It's socially acceptable, man. And
I was talking to. I can't remember who I was talking to, but they says they were with their ma, and their ma was like 60 or whatever. You know what I mean? And they went back to a house party. I don't know if it was like a family party or whatever, and the guy just put a couple of lines out, and he's like to the guy's ma, "You want a line?" You know what I mean? And I'm like, obviously you're laughing, but it's not funny. Do you know what I mean?
You're like, no, because this is how it ends up. This is how the problems occur, man. Isn't it, man? 60-year-old man.
The fuck we're talking about a line? Like, as if it's normal, but do you know what I mean? Just but I mean, obviously that's a wider issue, Paul. So take you back to your cell again, right? So obviously, how did that? Was it just the come down of the coke that started taking you onto the kind of blues and that well, not even blues,
I
but
took blues on and that Zimmers and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And then that's when I started getting into the blues big. Then I started to go to a couple of tubs to punt, and I got the taste for them. So when I was taking them, I was drinking with them, and I liked that feeling. And then I didn't like drinking anyway, so I just started taking them all the time. And it was fucking Xanax, any downer at the end at all. I'd been taking them during my work, and it wasn't long after I'd taxed a boy for all his gear and all that, so with my coke and all that, I'd ran out. I was bouncing on the Valium, and I decided I was on about 30 grand a debt, and that's when I decided to fucking go and rob the bookies.
Right.
Fucking the guys are on the lunch break and all that, and what fucking they're away for pieces and bacon, I'm away to rob the Lottie Hull, know what I mean? Just when they do these things, know what I mean, sober. Ended up, that was the worst mistake of my life. I fell and all that, going out the door. There was a guy, I have a go hero in. So I ran out the door after the guy whacked the button, fell, he'd first full of Valium out the door, rolled all down the stairs and all that. And the police came to my door 3 days later, man, and that was when I got my first prison sentence, my first eye opener of fucking jail.
And obviously, like, we'll go to the kind of jail. What was your experience like? See, just because I always try and say, like, what was it? So see when you're in front of the judge and you find you're not getting bailed and you're getting the jail. What's the feeling like in your stomach and stuff? Like you're done,
it was the worst feeling ever. Like, see, when I go to jail, I was out in bail, so it told me, prepare yourself for a custodial, Mr. Barrett, and it was the 20th of December 2017, man, 5 days before Christmas. My wee boy was only 2, and my wee lassie was just born 14 days. My family and that was in the darn nude. I printed something in the paper and that. Right. But I was shite myself, and the last 18 months, and I can just feel my body going from there to there, like just dropped. And I'm like, all right, I could feel my mom greeting. I'm like, it's cool, don't worry about it. But see, as soon as I went down that stair, man, I felt like greeting myself. I regret the first night in the jail.
Aye.
I hated the jail.
I was the same, but I know there's certain people that have different and they can handle the jail, and there's people that can do these things. I think I've spoken about it loads of time. I think a lot is fear-based, and it doesn't matter whether... I think when you say fear-based, people think you mean that... I know people that aren't scared of anything, do you know what I mean? But they're maybe scared of losing reputation, maybe scared of losing face, do you know what I mean? So it's still fear-driven what they're doing, do you know what I mean? But they don't like the word fear because it's as if it's like a weakness, and it's like you're just trying to get vulnerable, and you need people to show people, like, the way you're doing it is in talking honestly about how what was your feelings like? What were you actually feeling like when you got to jail? What was it like? So the Reliance fan, I mean, that was terrible for me. What did you think of that?
The Reliance fan was the worst experience in my life. Like, I went on that, and we were all sitting on it. It was my first time, so I was shaking. Like, I suffer from anxiety as well, but I was shaking. So you're in this wee box, getting up the motorway, and all these boys, man, they're all mad. They're like, get this fucking van rocked. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, get the fucking van rocked. And they're all standing there rocking it side to side, and I'm like, oh no, what am I doing here, man? Get up to the gates and that, and I'm like, oh shit, what have I done here, man? So we end up in with him, and it was fucking, like, I'll tell you this a little while, I was like, guys, I'll see all that. Jail's a canter, I'm like, in my experience, the jail's fucking not a canter. It's anything, it's not a holiday camp, it's a fucking jungle. Is what it is.
No, it's an urban jungle, man. Like, it's not, well, no urban, but I don't even know what the fuck you call it. It's definitely a jungle of some sort. So obviously at reception, obviously,
you're in the remand hall the first night before you get put in.
First night, is it still Douglas A?
I can't even mind it. It was one of the Douglases, and then the latter you've got to TC, and I can mind it. Oh, what do you mean you've got to TC? That's the worst one in the hall, man. I'm like, oh, you've kidded me.
I had a bad reputation, TC. I hated
it, mate, because then there was a couple of guys took a disliking to us and all that, just for no reason to. But it's trying to put on that brave persona, and so you're not getting victimised and all that. And then I was trying to fit in with guys, and you're smoking the legal and just anything, just so you'd be able to handle a sentence, and it was fucking horrible. Seen some right fucked up shit in there and all, man.
So see, when I seen the legal and that, right, but I hadn't really took it off, Paul, when I was there. So it was 2020, and it was like Castle Huntly and that I was in, and when I got downgraded, I seen it really, like, how bad it was. What was your experience of legal highs? Because I've not really had anybody on that did smoke it or anything. Do you know what I mean?
Was you go in, and at the time you could smoke in that in prison. It was like roll-ups and that you're getting. So they're like, right, it's legal. It's just like smoking hash. So I was like, right, fuck, I'll do it. And it was just, we were getting letters sprayed on, man. They put it in top of your roll-up, or you put it inside the roll-up and you smoke it. See, if you only smoke a draw to it, it's just like smoking hash. But see, as soon as you go by that, man, oh my God. So the boys, all them to a dislike, they were all in. I went in and sat with them one night, and they'd give me a roll up, but it was full and I didn't know. And they let me smoke it, man. And fucking, I was took a cold blue and started. I couldn't breathe and all that time. And instead of helping us, they're all putting fuck out his punches in the back and the teeth and everything, man. And That was a few, but I seen a guy die in there and all and that, and ended up in with suppository things put up his arse to bring him back to life, and it was horrible, man.
I was actually with Johnny Steele yesterday and James Dockett. We were having a chat about different things about prison and their logo is "We transform lives." It's prison transforming lives for the better. I always disagree with that, and I always challenge the prisons on it. Do you know what I mean? And listen, I know the prisons isn't an easy thing. They've got a very low budget. You're trying to organise chaos, basically. Do you know what I mean? I understand the complexities, but was there anybody ever came and says to you, like, he tried to help you? Any officers, like trauma-informed officers that maybe came and tried and say...
I never get any addiction help in that either. Like, I've seen getting in, I was on Street Valium when I was coming in, and they go up, and so instead of giving you a detox to come after them, I couldn't get a detox because there was nothing in my system. So I was crawling the walls, man, the first couple of weeks in there and all, man.
That's so dangerous, I know, but like, I mean, people die on and this is the stuff that there's supposed to be MAT standards, like medical assistant treatment standards that you follow, and the doctors that you should have been getting at least a couple of diazepam or something. Do you know what I mean?
I was claiming that, so my mental health was bad for the day doc straight away, and that's
what's probably made the boys take a no liking to you, is just that no being yourself and being all over the place,
on edge and all that.
Aye, people see that as a weakness and straight away go, oh, he's not, do you know what I mean? And so that's probably no set you off to a good start. So what were you going to say, Paul? Sorry, just like obviously, well, the environment just eat you up, kind of thing.
Man, I hated it, mate. Just that broke me. The jail, absolutely. I'll say that now. The jail broke me because my wee ass in that, and my wee boy was on the outside, and it was brutal, man. I ended up taking subby and everything. Never took kind of things like $1 million and that. And
but it's just you're just trying to. You're trying to block it, aren't you?
Aye, doing anything just to get that time to go by, innit, man? And I only done a wee sentence to me, it's got a baby sentence, know what I mean? I only got 18 months, but I got out in 4.5 in a tag, so it was a saviour that I got that for me, you know what I mean? Because for any longer it would have broke me, you know what I mean?
I know. No, like, I did, like, obviously I done 15 years, right? And I look back and I go, I don't know how I done that, right? I honestly don't, right? I'm looking fucking hell. And I had a lot of good people around about me. I was lucky, and I always say that I had a very good support network. Do you know what I mean? And I was lucky to have a lot of, but I'd still had issues. There was still things that went on in prison, like prison politics, as you say, and people dislike you, people do things, blah blah. But what's it like, obviously, in an environment like that where you're getting kind of picked on? Do you know what I mean? Because obviously you're coming probably for a street where you're maybe. No bullying it, but you're maybe no used to being bullied, right?
You hang everybody, you think there's nutters about banter and that, you know what I mean? Then you go into jail and there's real nutters in the jail, you know, you get put right in your place, man. You can't go and match up my shoulder in the jail, man. I've seen that too many times, seen guys getting heavy bullied where they just can't say they're taking parcels and not, and they never end up getting enemies and all that. Got 5 bottles, but I can't believe what I was seeing, man. Like, what the fuck?
It's dead traumatic, isn't it? He's trying to explain to people. But this is where we were talking yesterday. The staff see all this and all right. So the staff are getting traumatised, and they don't know it as well. So there's, I don't know, you'll know what it vicarious trauma, like where it's like the staff members are getting it. So the trauma that we experience, they're experiencing
it's a knock-on effect about the jail, isn't it?
Aye, totally. And the whole place is consumed with a terrible, horrible energy. I just can't. I was trying to explain it. The energy in the jail is just so low, like, and there's nobody there that you can turn to, if you know what I mean. No, there is. I mean, I had pals that I could turn to, but I just mean, you could, if you were to walk up and go like that, an officer, I'm taking fucking subby, blues, and legal. Can I get that officer's job is to go and stick you in.
They put you in the digger.
Do you know what I mean? So that's their job. So like how are you supposed to get help? So you can't. There's a lack of trust. So I don't know if you felt that in there. Like you're kind of alone. Then you're isolated, didn't you? And there's nobody there to turn to. Do you know what I mean? And you're in this position where people are not liking you for no reason. You're trying your hardest to fit in.
It's murder, mate. Honestly, it's just brutal.
It's brutal, and it's like, was that? Because obviously I've not been in that. Was that a recurring theme for quite? Did you see that with a lot of people, Paul? Like, did you see like maybe one or two main characters kind of controlling
running the hall, and everybody was bowing to them, guys coming in there getting it put on them and stuff like that, man. It was just a never ending, constantly, daily, man. I hated the jail. There wasn't one day that I liked. I don't want to say that, but there wasn't, man.
But yeah, is it the hyper-vigilant state that you're in you didn't like, or was it just the whole...
Maybe the hyper-vigilant, on edge all the time.
Aye.
You don't know what's going on, know what I mean?
No.
You need to be on edge. If you know on edge,
No, you do. You need to be on your gate. You need to be on your gate. No, and I'm trying to explain that so many times to anybody that's had an experience in prison where they're like, it was easy. Listen, there is fucking people out there. I've watched podcasts and all that with people when they're saying that, but they're all, I don't care, they're still in that hyper-vigilant state.
Aye,
They just maybe mask it better, and they might be able to kind of, but that living in that constant state, they're no machines, so they've got the same fucking adrenaline and the same fucking cortisone running through their body that's fucking their brain up, do you know what I mean, and putting them into that state. So it's hard for me when I watch people in their own podcasts and they're talking about how easy it was, and that I know fucking hard boys, know what I mean, that struggle in a jail, and I know boys that have come out and that have killed themselves and because of prison trauma, do you know what I mean? Guys that you would never think, do you know what I mean, that would do this. And it's trying to widen society's kind of views on how fucking hard prison is and how hard it is going in there with an addiction, how hard it is with no trust. Your poor family. I mean, what was your family like, Paul?
Oh, it was murder, man. Fucking came up to my mum and that. She ended up broken, you know what I mean? My missus, she had to watch her weddings every night. My wee lassie was just born.
I know.
It was fucking sad for all of them. That's a total knock-on effect for everybody you get in the jail and everybody else. But
I know. And did they see, obviously, the kind of downfall in you?
Aye, because I'd bumped boys for a bit of legal. I never had the money that week, and they shouted us into a gaff one day, and I ended up, one of them fucking stabbed us in the back on the way in, and the other boys cracked us in the jaw. But they broke my jaw, and it was away out there. So he tried to eat my dinner and that for days, and then I had a visit and forgot about it. I'd be up, man, I slept in the shower. No stupid, know what I mean?
I know. And it's so, like, as you say, you're wee and I can't even understand how your wee ma would have felt and your missus and that. And when you've got that kind of supportive network but that you must have had, because you've been able to turn that around, which is amazing, because there's no many can do it, Paul. There isn't many that the prison swallows people up a lot. And as I say, we spoke a wee bit earlier, see if you had went in there maybe, and there was maybe a guy for Blantyre that had a bit of a reputation that was maybe kind of running the whole. The other way is you could have bought into that.
Aye.
And then
I thought I was one of them.
Aye, and then you turn out to be you're the one that's putting on people and punching people and doing what he's telling you.
Aye.
And this is where it's hard. It's hard to navigate that whole system just because it's so hard to.
Definitely, you don't know what you're getting into. You don't know how it's got
so
to navigate.
volatile, isn't it? It's just extremely volatile, extremely. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, you try your hardest to explain it, and then you just see people on other podcasts like, and you're
bullshit.
Like, bullshit. Fuck's sake, do you know what I mean? Like, calm down, man. But no. So obviously you've had your prison experience. How many times did you get to jail, Paul?
Just that once, mate. But it's, well, as you say, like, in there, nobody comes to you. You don't get any kind of aftercare or that. I mean, it's just out you go, off straight out. So when I went out, my addiction for cocaine and street Valium just went fucking crazy, man. My offending started getting bad.
So did you see when you were in the prison? Did you never get, like, obviously did you seek help? Did you ever see like posters like, I can go there or I can go there?
Not even on the kiosk, King. There wasn't any.
Because there's a recovery cafe and that, isn't there? But it's very hard to get into.
There wasn't that on the kiosk at that time. I don't know what happened to that, but that wasn't. I don't know if I was maybe needed the right advice to get into recovery then or not, because I wasn't ready probably then, you know. Because
your awareness level's dead low into it, and you're obviously going in there, you're still taking drugs, you're still on that hyper-vigilant state, you're trying to fit into a place that's no, so you've got more on your plate, do you know what I mean? The last thing you'd want to do is take away that, sadly, take away the thing that's saving you. And that logistically and logically, the drugs are taking away the pain of that suffering, do you know what I mean? And that's the sad thing in the prison, because it's hard to explain that to anybody when they've never been in that environment. But if you take a couple of Valium or whatever, it just chills that nervous system. It brings you down to your right, kind of regulates your emotions.
Like that.
You start, and then you wake up and you've got a bowel, you know what I mean? And you're like, and then that's you, like as you says. But I mean, I was quite lucky in the way that I never go like. I was taking Valium and stuff, do you know what I mean? Like that was my problem in prison because I had high anxiety, do you know what I mean? And I used to take them and I was on like Zimmers and stuff after the doctor and stuff like that, do you know what I mean? So you were getting a lot of the stuff, I don't like saying about a lot of the stuff was coming for the fucking prison.
No.
No, it was all prescribed drugs.
I know there's hundreds of meds in there that end up going about
it's not just illicit drugs, do you know what I mean? There's fucking loads
legal
of stuff.
ones, I know.
I mean, I was in jail and like guys fucking taking hundreds of antidepressants to get mad with it and all that. You know what I mean? Like and antipsychotics and all that. Do you know what I mean? Like Seroquel and all that.
No, man, that's right. People were taking these series and I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, metrazapine and all that.
I know, man. You end up with bad dreams after else.
You can't sleep for 3 days, man. But that is a sad fact of prison, and you just need to look at the addiction rate in prison, right? And it's they hit out with stats in the like 60-70%. See when you were in Tasty, how many people?
I'd say 99%. And maybe what the one old guy never done it. Honestly,
I just drink it outside. I know.
Aye, but it's close to 100%, and I'd go as.
I agree with you, man, and I think it's not. You're never a dig. See if you say a system's failing, it doesn't mean. I think that's a strength. Aye. See if you can turn around and go, look, this is fucked. Like this is no working. Do you know what I mean? Like how's it? Did you see in your whole time when you were in there? Did you see anybody changing their life a bit?
Not one person. Just people get worse in there.
Aye.
Honestly, I never seen. I always said I wouldn't be back to it, and everybody would say, "I never say never" and all that, and then I went straight out and started offending again. And
I know, because it's so easy to, you get swallowed up with it. Do you know what I mean? And then it's hard to turn off that hyper-vigilant state when you go out. So when you go outside, as you say, you've no any help, there's no aftercare, right? There's nobody came to go, look, Paul, you need to try and regulate your emotions here, you're going to a place. Because what was it like trying to reintegrate back into society?
It was brutal, man. So it's...
Because you're a wee man that's expecting you just to pure...
I ended up swelling. I was up because of all the steamed food, man. I hated the food. I was toast every night, you know what I mean? I went out, but see when you get out, my uncle and that, he ended up killing himself through suicide. He hung himself, you know what I mean? And so my addiction kind of spiralled again after that and all. So I was right into downers then. And I was fucking it has, you know, bouncing and all that time, man. Fucking neck.
I know. It's looking at the whole thing and just going, where would you have placed the help, Paul? Where would you have said you needed that help? Where, like in prison, where would you say that you would have needed that bit of support? What kind, if the opportunity came about?
I don't know, man. See if they would have ran classes or something, maybe meetings or something, Sean. You know what I mean? Something like that. I don't know, man. Because my mental health was all the place in there. I had right bad mental health when I was in there, and.
So this is the problem I'm on to, because see if you had mental health, fuck, you can't be doing anything.
No.
So you're only going to get the quick fix, ain't you? The quick fix is drugs to take away your mental health problems, or try and mask it, because that's what it's doing. It's only masking it. Do you know what I mean? But while you're in that fucking horrible environment, it's very logical that you would turn to that. That's going to, do you know what I mean? A substance, but it's hard to even say, because when you ask boys, and even where we have asked you, nobody knows where they would need the help and where to go. But you look at systems in Norway and you look at systems in like Germany, and they seem to be working. Holland have just shut down 13 prisons. Do you know what I mean? Why are we not looking further outfield and going, what are they doing?
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Like how
they're doing something right anyway if they're managing to shut 13 of them down. You know what I mean?
And Holland was very well renowned for being like probably like the capital of kind of organised crime. Do you know what I mean? Like it's very well known that Holland had its problems with organised crime, so they're shutting prisons down. In Norway and stuff, our prison officers get paid a lot more, but they need a degree. They need to be really trauma informed, because as you say, right, you're getting battered, you're walking about with this bag, you've been stabbed, you've been hit with, did anybody come and see you?
No, I didn't fuck, man.
And was it pretty obvious you were walking about?
Oh, my job was out here.
Do you know what I mean?
Know what I mean?
Like, so you'd think at least somebody would come and go,
actually.
mate, you're like, which, and obviously you're not going to grass,
No,
right?
you
You're not
fuck,
going to
man.
stick him in, but you fucking, we've got a broken jaw. You know what
I
mean?
know, I
Like,
had to lie, I had to keep my broken jaw to get out, man.
And that's what people say. I've seen people having. Did you say you fell down the stairs? Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, some of the things you see in prison. I remember a guy went in and leathered a boy, right? And I'll not say names or nothing, but a guy went and leathered the guy, and then says, "Fucking jumped down the stairs." Do you know what I mean? and you're watching this, right? This guy's fucking jumped down all the stairs and had well rolled down the full all the metal stairs, rolled them, and obviously that's how he's saying he's got the marks on his face, and you're just like, this place is nuts.
I know, man, you couldn't write off the shit in there, man.
But it's interesting to see, like, when you get people on and they've been in that prison environment and the same thing keeps happening. There's no help. There's no
signposting where they go to end up. I know, see if they offered like guys to go to places where to get better meetings and that for going out of prison. People maybe stop taking drugs, and then the offending maybe cut down. Maybe, know what I mean?
Aye. Well, see, even if somebody came to you and said, "Do you want to go to like a rehab setting?" Like in a hall where it's like kind of rehab, and we're going to give you like kind of full on like kind of work. You're going to go through maybe, I don't know, 12 steps.
You
whatever.
jump at it, man.
Do you know what I mean? A lot of people would go for that.
Aye,
do you know what I mean?
definitely.
But there's no halls like that. You're
No.
just fired into, as you say, TC. What the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's that?
What's all that?
What's all that?
What the
Do you know
fuck?
what I mean? And you know it because everybody's telling you when you get told you're going to that hole that, oh, that's fucking nuts. And there's nothing you can do about it.
No.
You're just flung into it.
Aye.
And listen, I'm not trying to justify what you've done, right? But you've robbed our bookies and stuff, but you're trying to feed an addiction, right? Which we're all saying it's a health problem, right? The government are saying it's a health problem, right? So if addiction's a health problem, and people are committing crimes like that to kind of substitute or whatever, get the money for the drugs, surely. I'm not saying you should get away with that, right? But surely you should go, right, well, what was the reason you offended?
Aye.
And if that reason's drugs, then...
How can we help you otherwise?
Right, as soon as you go into prison, then there should be a something in place for you to identify where you're going wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Like, identify this is with the my issue's drugs. Like, I wouldn't have done that sober.
No,
so,
every single one of my charges I've been under the influence for drugs. Know what I mean, I wouldn't have done any of my charges sober.
Aye.
My sober, know what I mean?
And did a judge ever say to you, like, or anybody, like, this is my problem, this is a gripe I get, like, even when you go to Adderall, did they go, like you're saying, you feel that you didn't even, because there was no diazepam,
So I never got a
so you
detox.
didn't get a detox, you know what I mean? So you're flung in there, rattling, and then, what good does that do anybody?
Need
you know
to
what I mean?
make them worse, know what I mean?
You're just, and then they're the care, they've got a duty of care, right? So they're supposed to, and I'm not, you're talking about a fucking jail, right? So I'm not daft. I'm like, obviously you're talking about prison, but they've got a duty of care. So surely if you'd went in and straight away, like, put a plan in place for you and went, right, you're going to go here and
I know you've got to work at that.
definitely, because there's wonderful things happening in prisons, by the way, and I take my hat after the people that are doing it, like the recovery cafes and stuff like that. They're fucking great. Do you know what I mean?
That's totally needed, man.
But they're hitting a small volume of people in Berlin, which you would have always thought was probably the worst jail, is probably looking like the most progressive. Do you know what I mean?
That's the one that's doing the best.
The stuff that's going on in Berlin is fucking excellent. They're really trying to identify so much stuff. I mean, obviously there'll be it's a big jail. We were talking about HMP Glasgow and how that's opening up. So we're opening up prisons. Do you know what I mean? So
Instead of shutting them down.
Aye, we're going like, right, let's fucking do our own thing as usual. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, we know better. Do you know what I mean? Let's open another fucking big, massive one, 1,200 people. Do you know what I mean? Because they're going to fill it.
Aye,
The prison population will go up. I can guarantee it will go for like whatever it is, 7,000 to now to 9,000 or whatever. Whatever the prison population, that will get filled and it won't come down.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So then you go like that. Where is the criminals who know that we're filling
fall
that?
in there.
They're out. You know, and you're just going to fire more people in the jail when it opens up. But I don't know. You could talk about that all day. But so right, how do we find recovery then? How does that come about? How does that come into your life, Paul?
Last year, I was with cocaine and I was starting to go into a thing called a drug psychosis, Sean, and I was only taking that much at the end and I was getting into it. I thought I was on YouTube videos, thought I was murdered people when I was on these videos. I thought I'd done all these jobs and I thought there was cameras in my lamp. I thought my wife was cheating on a cartoon game. Thought there was wee screws in my room and all that, and it was making me totally suicidal. I was got to do myself in. I was going to do saying to my mum, because I was tagged in my mum's, you know what I mean? And I was taking gear every night, so my head was fucking warped with it.
And you getting help at this point?
No, because I tried to get help with and ended up falling away from it kind of thing, you know what I mean? But then I'd totally broke to my knees. So got to do myself in everything. I'd lost everything. I fell out hard and wasn't getting to see the veins properly all the right way. I shouldn't be getting to see the veins. I was fully all the time, you know what I mean? So my mum phoned a group called Turning Point, and for there a guy came out for high banter, and this guy that came out, he was a 25-year heroin addict, totally, absolutely fuck all he had, man, high banter, and he was 5 year clean, and he's came out, and I was like, oh, fucking hell, man, this can be done, know what I mean? So he started taking me a wee group called Binge with Katrina, and there was a guy that was 16 years sobriety and that, and I was like, oh, fucking hell, man, this can be done, man, 16 years. They directed me to the Beacons and Keep the Heat, and for there started to build like connections, stuff like that, and real pals. I never had real pals, and then just all fucking dafties. I want things after me. I want things after them, they want things after me, associates. For there, like, I started to see that there was guys struggling more than just in these meetings, and I'd started to run a TikTok channel, Sean. It was called Addicted to Life, as you know. Done a Facebook, and I started to open up my own meeting in these rooms. I started to realise that we could all put our problems on the table and I could just take mine back out. I'd lived in victim mentality for years. Oh, poor me, poor Paul. I had a fucking good life, know what I mean? I shouldn't have been using all that thing.
I think when we fall into victim mentality, it's the worst.
Definitely.
It's the hardest mentality to come out of, because you justify everything.
Every single thing.
And everything's somebody else's fault, and it's like, you do need to take that bit of responsibility, and that's a hard bit to critically analyse yourself. It's because it's sore looking at that. Look, as you say, you're looking at yourself and going, what the fuck have I done? I didn't, like, with my life here, like, I like putting these people through this, put my man
through the mill, man,
through this fucking prison sentence. It's fucking broke us. I'm in a drug psychosis. There's so much going on, and the way that you can the way you've navigated that is very well, Paul. So I'm just going to take a pop here at a guess that you had a very, very supportive network running about you, that people that wanted to see you changing before you even went into recovery. Is that right? Like your missus and the family?
I'm lucky, Sean. There's guys out there that's husn't get support and all that.
That's what I was going to say.
I totally did have my mum, my dad, my missus and all that, which she might have felt it was, but she never fucking left us, know what I mean?
I know.
All the kind of things, I had a total, like, I'd put them through, like, the paid bills and all that. You know, so see now, man, I owe my fucking lifetime of sobriety, you know what I mean?
But, like, the point I'm trying to make, right, is like, see you come out and you didn't have that, which fucking loads of guys have got, by the way. There's 80% of the prison population don't have that support network we've got, mate. So what do you think would have happened to you if you had come out and you didn't have that support network? I
wouldn't be sitting here. See, if I never had my fable in that, I'd be dead 110%. I'd be either dead for a bill, dead with an overdose, or I'd be back in prison for a long-term sentence.
Aye. And I like take my hat after you, because I think that's the exact same way as probably I'd have been when I came out. It's the lack of support that it's no there. Do you know what I mean? And people, society doesn't want it for some reason. Society, and listen, we're in a position now where there isn't a lot of money going about, and there is a lot of poverty, and there's a lot of people with food banks and stuff. So I understand that saying to somebody, look, we're going to pump hundreds of money into the prison population, we're going to pump hundreds of into the aftercare, into the prison. It's no there, right? And I understand that, but then don't demonise it. Don't you know what I mean? Like, don't fucking turn around and go like, like, how's that guy no turn his life around? You know what I mean? They don't understand.
No, they can't. Some people just no go it, man. Like, all the support today, that you need support, that I think, to get to where you are. You know what I mean? Or it helps anyway. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I think, obviously, as we were just going to go and speak about, is like how you found recovery and stuff like that was probably Turning Point are a great organisation. Do you know what I mean? And again, had you ever even heard of Turning Point before?
No,
and this is a sad thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but it's no Turning Point's fault. It's no like any. They're a great organisation, but it's the whole. Whereas it's trying to get out there into it. And
should be getting advertised everywhere. You know what I mean? All these places, and that's how I made my own meeting up as well. And
and I think obviously when we look at how you created Addicted to Life, and because I mean you were messaging me bits and back before, because obviously I'm kind of new to social media as well, and obviously I could see you were doing and trying to change, and you were I think we'd asked a couple of good questions to each other. Do you know what I mean? That was how we kind of started chatting, but even at that, I could see that the want was there, the passion was there for you. Do you know what I mean? You could see it in you. Do you know what I mean? The passion to change and the passion to try and help other people was there. So when you created Addicted to Life, how did you firstly how did you get after drugs? Was it detoxing and stuff, or was it?
No, I done it cold turkey, man. It was I done it cold turkey, and it was just totally wanting it. I was sick, even sick. Know what I mean? I was totally broke to my knees. And it was in these rooms I picked up bits of guys' stories, and things just started to connect, know what I mean? And I started to get a bit of energy off the rooms, and I was getting emotional in the rooms, and things like that just started to click every day, and I just wanted it, man. So I'm totally recovery for optimised a shot them, Sean, man. I need to be like that, know what I mean? I've got purpose to be sober today, I've got cause to be sober, that group, I've got my family, I've got everything back in my life, and it's all down to getting sobriety, man.
And I honestly, like, I think you'll just grow and grow, mate. To be honest, today I think your group will grow. I think that everything will just keep falling into place. But I don't know if are you spiritual?
What I will say is the last day in November last year, I was broken, obviously, so I was wanting to try anything. I'm a Catholic, but wasn't really a dead good Catholic all my days of it. Went to chapel the last day in November, and I said a prayer, asking to make me better, make me stay better. And I'm not a crackpot or that, Sean. No. See, every day I'm fucking on a natural high, every single day. And so obviously I don't know if it's doing that prayer, but I say it's doing that, and it's helped anyway.
Me personally, I believe I'm a Catholic as well, right? And I believe in I'm very spiritual. In fact, when it comes down to that kind of like, I believe in the universe and positive energy, negative energy. I'm not necessarily believing like any kind of religion or anything like that, but I so believe that if you're like hanging enough, if you're passionate enough about when you've asked that prayer, when you've done that prayer, to me you're asking a question to the universe, and you're getting the answer back.
And what's the mysterious ways? I'm telling you do good for ours and you get good back. And I've
so synchronised.
Because I was on a tag and all that in Oriel, Sean, like for something that happened last year. I ended up fighting with two of my pals, and that. Long story short, I was the one that got charged, ended up with a tag in community service. But I'd been doing meetings, and I'd done my drag rug hang nuts. So I battered in my community service here, and I went up to get my tag time changed all week to 10 at night, and the judge just seen everything I've done and all that, and he took my tag off 6 weeks early, man. So he just caused it that, oh man, you do good for us, you get good back, I'm telling you, man.
And I think, I'll give the courts their place, I know. I think the courts are starting to work with boys that are, because 90% of the boys that are offending are it's down to addiction or down to even substance abuse. It doesn't necessarily
even maybe addiction. They could be just fully at that night
drinking or binge boozing, because it's your culture, isn't it? And it's like the thing that we'll talk about as well is, see, now that you're starting to help people and stuff like that, see some of the people that are maybe reaching out to you. Are you surprised at that?
Definitely. You're getting guys, and I've got guys in that have got full-time jobs and all that, and quite high up jobs, and that are ruined with addiction and not know what to tell their wives. And I've got people coming from a meeting now for Ayr, for Edinburgh, for Glasgow. See, addiction, last time in Blantyre, and I would go as far as saying addiction is hitting at least every house, every second house. If it's no in that house, it's somebody in the family. I'd definitely say it's as rife as that in Blantyre.
I think that's
maybe everywhere, but just as that.
I know, Paul. I think you're bang on, mate. I think every household has got somebody who's either abusing alcohol or abusing drugs. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's down to the culture and where do we go? And I think where I was kind of wanting to move into is obviously I've watched some of your videos and you're dancing and you're getting a positive energy and you can see people buying into it. Do you know what I mean? And like, how did you come up with that? Like dancing sober?
Because I just try to show people that you don't need a drug or a drink to enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? You can go to parties and there's 40 or 50 people. Some of them are strangers at my meeting first time. And I'm getting up with a tune zone dancing.
Rave dancing, there we go. yeah.
Same on that TikTok, man. But obviously you get dafty saying anything. I couldn't give a fuck. No, I mean, it's what half a duck's back.
I know. I think it's true. User 12895 and all that. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking. But they're probably sitting there like,
aye, fleeing.
It's bam, man. But no, I think the work you're doing is amazing. And if you got any like. Have you got any scope to maybe try and maybe go into prisons or anything like that? Like, would you...
See, I got offered to go into, but I had my tag on, I got offered to go into do a couple of talks. Was it Anglo Moss and shots?
With Kevin
I got offered, and I don't know, was
Kevin's
it Kevin?
good.
Might
Kevin's
have been. And I got offered to go into do it with Keep Your Head for, they go up to shots and speak to the prisoners up there.
I spoke to the boys, I tried to give them as much advice as I could, and I don't know how it's getting on. How's that getting on?
I don't know, I've not been back in a couple of weeks, man, but, and then obviously I've applied for there's a job come up with community service. They were looking for a peer support worker, a recovery worker, and that's what they're holding meetings and doing a community service. You know yourself, man. This is where it's fucking needed, man.
Aye, and
so
I think
I've applied for that. So I'm fucking fingers crossed, man.
You'd be great for that. Like you would, you need somebody with lived experience.
That's all they were. The managers and all that. If they didn't have a phone in us, come out, please, man. Send us doing another one.
I think they will. Listen, it'll just keep coming, mate.
I know,
and it'll
man.
just keep synchronising because I believe in karma. It's like your karma, and see when you're getting good at it, you just get good back.
Aye, definitely.
And your thinking changes. You operate in a different wavelength. Do you know what I mean? It's like. You probably look back at that old self and go, what the fuck? Like,
honestly,
how...
totally see some of the things that I used to do. Like, I was scummy the fucking earth. But that was just the addiction that took over. That's not me. No. Know what I mean? Like I said before, I'm a prick with a drink in us, a prick with a drug in us, prick with anything in us, but I'm a fucking brand new guy sober. You know what I mean? And it's mad.
I think it's just it's being able to identify that. That's what what age are you? You're
34.
34, so you're still young, and sometimes it takes people a lifetime to identify these things, and it's when it is asking yourself the hard questions, Paul, into it. It's like going, what do I want out of life here? Like, do I want this fucking shit, or do I want to go down that road, or do I want... So, what was it like, obviously, because I know like the emotions I felt when I was going through that, and how looking at yourself, maybe looking at some of the stuff you'd done and trying to be compassionate and maybe having a bit of empathy for yourself. How hard was that? Because I know it's hard.
I still beat myself up a bit a lot because a lot of it is quite fucking low stuff, like stealing managed jewellery or putting my message through the mill with all the shit that I accused and all that. I mean, it's just all stuff that, because I was operating in low realms, you get it all back out kind of thing, you know what I mean? And it's no good, man.
No, and
you end up eating yourself up about it, I know what I mean?
I know, and as it's trying to be compassionate about to yourself, because if you were somebody else who's telling you this story, you would be like, look, mate, you need to fucking be like kind to yourself. I don't know if you've ever read a book called Untethered Soul. No. Michael Singer, he talks about it, and he says like how if you gave that voice in your head a name for the day, he's like, you would never hang about him like that, because it's so critical, do you know what I mean? Like, fucking look at Nicky, who the fuck do you think you are, blah, blah. And you still get self-doubt. There's always going to be that kind of... We had a guy on the podcast, he was talking about the way he's doing this. Guys, that sounds really good. A course that he's doing in Berlin, and it's like how he's getting the group to create a protagonist, and then they've got like a mentor, and they've got a critic, and then they're creating a screenplay. And it's just projecting, it's like mirror imaging their cell onto the characters that maybe it's too sore and painful to date to their cell. So you're able to operate outside, do you know what I mean? And push it on. And I was really taking the idea. I thought that's a really good idea, do you know what I mean? But I think obviously just moving, so obviously we're moving on, Addicted to Life, moving into a kind of charity base now.
We're going to meet this week to get constituted. We've been going through the thing, we've got a committee and all that now, so just different things.
I mean, how long are you sober now, Paul?
The 1st of December, I got it tattooed there. 1st of December last year, man. Just coming up in 7 months.
So see what you've done in 7 months, right?
I've done more than 7 months, and I've done my full life, Sean, and I'm no kidding, mate, and it's fucking mental.
Because it's a lot. I mean, so what you've basically done is you've came out of prison, you've done that, you've managed to get your mental health together, you've managed to get your drug addiction under control. You're actually now created a charity, and you're going to help other people, which is phenomenal.
Aye, definitely. See, I've had guys coming to my group, Sean, and I'm no kidding on, they were same as me, absolutely broken when they came through the door, and they're all hitting milestones and all that, and flying in life, getting their families back, booking holidays, and that's what it's all about. That's fucking recovery right there, mate.
So obviously, you see when you're seeing people coming through the door or contacting you now, Paul, are you able to kind of identify and try and help them now? Like,
aye, that's what's happening.
So
people messaging us and I'm just giving them advice. MD that does ask for advice. I usually try and tell them to go to meetings, and if they're local, I try and tell them to come to my meeting.
Aye.
My meetings are cracking. It's no fellowship or anything, that's pure support.
Aye.
But it's different for any other meeting. You get a bit of everything in it.
So what's if I was just to try and tell you what to just kind of buff, what's a addicted to life meeting like? How do you operate with it?
It's in Blantyre and Hamilton, 2 different meetings. We run one on a Tuesday, one on a Saturday. In my meeting, we get a wee check-in for the group, sit in a circle, there's about 40 of us. We sit in a circle, I get a guest share in every week with a bit of recovery under our belt. They do a wee share, tell them a bit about the group and that. Sometimes I'll do a shuffle or whatever, try and brighten the spirits up, because people come feeling down, you know what I mean? And
listen, we were in Berlin. Natalie, that was stuff I had never seen before. We were in Berlin and she was getting us to dance and all that. And it's giving you that energy. And when Natalie, because I kind of helped Natalie, like obviously at the start when we were the first recovery cafe in, and Natalie's like she's like a fucking mental giant, man. She's like, she knows, and she's no scared to talk her mind and stuff. And she's like, I'm going to get you to dance at the end. I went, Natalie, that will work, man. And she's like, I was like, I'm not going to get
prisoners to dance.
Aye, right. And she's like, fucking will work. I went, I won't. And she's like, well, prove me wrong, man. Like, totally. All these people are mad, like fucking crackpots. You know what I mean? Like, the guys that I know that are like,
I dodge you.
but it's you're getting people that everything that happens in that wee room's kind of sacred. Nothing's going anywhere else.
No, it's confidential in that room.
You're able to drop your guard.
Aye.
Which you've not been able to do for a long time.
Aye.
Because the life you've been living, whether it be in the jail, whether it be in the schemes,
it's a mask going for everything.
Aye, and you've been able to drop that, and then see when you drop it,
everybody
it's infectious. You know what I mean? And you get to see other people, and you'll probably see it like people coming at your meetings, and they look like a wee bit at the start, and then before they know it,
no, they're talking. I can't get something in my shop.
Calm down now. I know. But
no, they're all great people in that group, man.
No, and I think MD that's kind of watching this obviously should go and check Paul's stuff out. Do you know what I mean? Addicted to Life, Instagram. We're talking about how hard fucking Instagram is to get around. But at your TikTok, Facebook, everything like that, do you know what I mean? You can go and check it out. But so what plans have you got for like the future? Where do you think you'll go? Where are we going?
For the new, for Addicted to we're going to get constituted in that, obviously, and then we've got this camping trip in the 3rd of August. We're all going Loch Lomond overnight camping. We're 15 years gone, and then I've got a sober rave lined up. Hopefully in the future, I'm want to build my own community like the Beacons, have my own, create jobs for people, and create jobs for addicts. You know what I mean? Guys probably never had a job. Give them a bit of hope in life. You know what I mean?
Definitely, and it's definitely what's needed now. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, we're all kind of like this. We're all kind of doing things, and we're all trying to help, and we're all trying to do our own wee bits and bobs, and obviously trying to mould a kind of future for people. Do you know what I mean? But it's hard because the streets are flooded now. Do you know what I mean?
Man, you're never going to stop with drugs. That's one thing. It's just you need to give people a bit of willpower if you can get it into them. I wish I could just bottle up what I had and give them it, but you can't sometimes.
I know. Like, here you go. Take that. No, I know it's sad, but I think like even like having a look at like trying to even maybe, because obviously you've got Hamilton now, they'll probably start moving around South Lanarkshire. Do you know what I mean? It'll probably go quite quick, I would imagine, because it is kind of taking off, do you know what I mean? And I mean, what's it like to be like basically like a kind of CEO of a charity?
That's
like,
brilliant. I love it. I get
it's-
some buzz. It's no what me. I end up greeting that every week. Showing a damn murder, man. Like, you can. There's Saturday morning. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. There's 40 grown adults round the room all coming to your meeting and they're thanking you for getting them better and that. And it's fucking. It makes me feel good. Know what I mean, mate?
Oh, aye, it's. I mean, that's all it. You've probably rattled a 12 steps kind of similar to 12 steps into a small period of time. You've probably done a lot of that work that would have got done
And
during the 12
making a
steps.
things, I
You know what I
know.
mean? Because to get to a stage where you're helping people and stuff, are you ever worried? Do you ever get that wee doubt, that wee complacent bit in your head? Or?
I've seen what I will say. That's how I started. I ended up joining the fellowship because of that. Because like my first 4.5 months, I was flying, flying, total flying. I never had an nod or anything like that. And then before you know it, my buttons started to get pushed, and that's how I used to react on my emotions and reach out. So I knew I had a bit of working at myself today because I was going from 0 to 100 in fucking seconds.
Aye.
I'm like, right, I've got a bit of working at myself today.
Aye.
So I started today the fellowship and that, and I believe the 12 steps will make me become the person that I want to be.
I always say it, like anybody that I know that's done the 12 steps, it's the best model of recovery you'll get. You're not going to get a better model of recovery than 12 steps, do you know what I mean? It's a hard thing to do and it's abstinent could be a big word in the last, and it's no for everybody, do you know what I mean? It's no like for everybody, but I think MD, I don't even think you'd need to be an addict. I don't think you'd need to be addicted to it to get so much at the 12 steps.
Oh no, definitely no, man. They say it's changed your life, man.
Oh, I was with my pal yesterday who's the 12 steps, and he's on a different he's on a different wavelength, man. He's like just so it grounds you and it makes you it gives you the tools to work
Gives you a
through.
solution in your life,
Totally,
innit, man.
because let's be honest, see when you're pure snapped, right, when you're fucked, and you really are that, just as you say, you're suicidal, right? I was certainly at a stage where I was certainly getting those thoughts, do you know what I mean? And in prison and stuff like that, I was like certainly getting the ideology behind that, and probably a lot of people don't know that, but I mean, I think most people would go through that. Do you know what I think? I think most people would go through that kind of, especially when you know you're getting a hard time and all that in the prisons and that, and that's this went back the suicide and that's a way up again. You know what I mean? Massively a way up.
I know.
And I honestly don't, there's got to be a connection there with coke, because there's so many boys, young boys doing it. You know what I mean? Young
Coke's
lassie.
sending people after kids, you know, with paranoia and schizophrenia and psychosis and all the things that I believed that I was seeing them, know what I mean? But it was because the fucking drugs were warping your mind to see them. And
When you're in one of these psychosis. So did you ever go into the hospital? Did you ever get...
No, I never go. I was about in the Balls African
nearly,
section,
aye.
but aye.
And obviously, just again, that's your support network that's been able to kind of keep you away from that
Aye.
that kind of place. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, I just think that I don't know how. I mean, obviously, it's a hard thing to ask because you're only 7 months. But what would you like to see more of? What would you like to see more of? Like, say, take Blanter, right? If you'd like a fucking magic wand, right? What would you like to see more of in that community?
In my community, more meetings and stuff like that, more things for people to do, you know what I mean? Enter activities, they're shutting down all the halls, you know what I mean? All the community halls. What the fuck, you know what I mean?
Where's everybody gone? I know. No, but I think, see, the key for me, right, is when you start to show vulnerability, right, it allows that other person. It allows the other person to get vulnerable with you.
Aye.
It allows that other person to go drop their guard, right? And when their guard's dropped, that's when you can get a message through. Because when your guard's up, you won't get the message through.
No, you can't get into feel like that.
Because you, as we spoke about earlier, you're in victimhood. Do you know what I mean? That victim mode where everything's everybody else's fault, or you're in that mode where you can justify everything, and you're ready to justify like crazy, stupid things that you would never have justified in your life before. But I don't know how it's trying to, when you ask people like yourself that are doing really good work and you go, what would you like to see more in the community? It's a hard question because people go, I don't like, as I say, like, they're shutting things down. There's no sense of community, but I kind of blame social media a wee bit for that. I think social media and phones are kind of I don't know, maybe pulling people away from...
Aye, maybe probably like that, grounds people to their houses and that, I know. Man, they don't want to do things, they become lazy. I don't know, man.
I know, it's a hard question, it is a hard question, and it's one of the ones that, obviously, listen, they pay people a lot of money to try and fix these things, but I think, for me, I think you need to start showing, I think especially with young guys. Listen, by the way, I don't know what study it was, but there was a study that showed that young lasses are getting worse than boys in the way that for fighting and all that, and bullying and shit like that, do you know what I mean? But it always was that kind of, when you were a young guy and you were taking coke or whatever, it was like you were kind of, you couldn't talk to anybody. You couldn't get vulnerable.
I know, there was the same way, you couldn't get vulnerable with people, you know what I mean? If you wouldn't say to somebody, I feel emotional, well, man, you're probably would have fucking slapped you in the jaw, you know what I mean?
Imagine walking into the house and blank, I'm like that, listen guys, I'm feeling a bit vulnerable today.
Get
He's about to have a chat, he's like, get him out the window, isn't it? But that's the problem, I think, is because
that's the stigma and all that about it, man.
Do you know what I mean? And because what you've essentially got there is like a group of maybe 10 guys in a house talking a lot of shit, right? Mad with it, all broken, but no willing to speak about it.
Aye, I know.
So it's trying to get these people, how do you get these people to open up? And there's things that you can put in place, do you know what I mean? It's like most stuff that happens are trauma responses, do you know what I mean? It's like, whether it be like the stuff that you'd have experienced through your life would have probably put you in a range where you maybe even got a bit of PTSD, do you know what I mean?
Aye.
You've maybe got that traumatic thing going on where if you think of certain things and that maybe trigger you, do you know what I mean? Like think of things that happened to you or you done, do you know what I mean? Like that, if you were to take yourself back to that position when you were in jail and you were getting fucking all that shit was happening to you, you probably trigger you a wee bit, do you know what I mean? And I think it's having the aftercare, and that's what the 12 steps and that gives, I think.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? It allows you to operate out with...
You've got tools in to deal with the emotions when you are triggered.
Aye. It allows you to operate out with a kind of, whatever wavelength, bandwidth or something that you wouldn't have been able to do before, when you're sitting in that wee house with the tennies or mad with it, you know what I mean? So this, well, obviously we're kind of coming up to the kind of end of the podcast and stuff, right? But I just want to kind of talk to you a wee bit more just about Addicted to Life, because I'm not really interested in it. Have you got any other plans to like bring more stuff into it? Like, have you
I've got this constitution coming up, Sean. So I'm going to meet Janet and that other lassie, Mora, Kimberly. So we'll be going through about that. So once when we get more funding and that, and I'll be able to apply for funding when I'm constituted, you know what I mean? So I'll be able to pull more things and I'll be able to, this is when I really want to get my community together, you know what I mean?
And are you thinking about like cold water and like...
Cold water, no, I was going to buy a wee tank for us, just so, but I'd rather, one wee cold tank, it's not really hygienic for 40, so they'll jump in it, you know what I mean? I'd rather take them somewhere and do it, you know what I mean? It's better that way. But with funding, that means we can get a wee minibus or something, and we can go places.
You can go and just go to the beach, can't you? Any of the wee beaches, Loch Lomond or that, and doing Loch Lomond and that, and it, like, there is, like, listen, you can look for it, and there's loads of people doing these things, do you know what I mean? Like, there's amazing groups going on now that are tapping into just, do you know what's the sad thing is? There's so much good going on, right? But there is a flip side to that. Do you know what I mean? The flip side is that other fucking madness that's going on. Do you know what I mean? And they're two polar opposites. And you're trying to get people to tap into that good. Sometimes it's fucking hard, isn't it? It's because some people, I don't know. But what I find kind of probably a bit humbling and a bit kind of, I don't know, humbling and a bit kind of like surprised was the people that were asking for help with me. Some of the people that messaged me or whatever were people that I would have thought kind of had it or sussed.
You're cracked, man. You just don't expect it, man, at all.
Guys, maybe a bit of reputation about the scheme and things like that, and they're sending you a message to say, look, I'm fucked, man. Like, and you're like, fuck's sake, you're hiding that well, do you know what I mean? But it's trying to get these, because we spoke about egos earlier, right? Ego is a huge thing, right? Your ego takes a dent. That's where a lot of drugs come in and that, because it fixes that as well, do you know what I mean? Temporarily. Whereas the 12 steps, Addicted to Life, these kind of things sort you for life.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? But I mean, obviously, if you can look at even your ego, what was that like before you went into prison? Was it?
My ego was probably fucking put him out of seat before I went out of prison. I think I was a man, and then it's no till you get in there and you get shot right down.
I know. I just remember like the first time I went in, man, it was like fucking everybody shouting and all that. See, just all shouting, but they all knew each other. Like everybody all knew each other and knew who they were, and I didn't know anybody. And I was just like, oh, but it's fucking hell. You're in these wee dog boats, you're just waiting. And I remember they gave me like I don't know. It was like, did you get the wee suits and all that when you were in that? I don't know. Like, no, Nadivell. In fact, they don't date Nadivell.
No, it was just grey fucking grey
exactly.
gear to wear.
And they had blacks, fucking penny blacks.
Aye, penny blacks.
You used to get guys that running about playing football with him, no, like, fucking hell, man. Because he can't afford a pair of boots. It's a shame. It's a shame, but it's the guy. I mean, the gym was mad in Adwell. I used to try and tell people about you guys with like shirts and all that, shirts and jeans and all that, running on a running machine. You'd be like fucking. Do you know what I mean? But it's bizarre. It's just a place you can't explain. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just like guys on the punch bag and all that, like with suits on and all that. You know what I mean? Because they've not got any clays. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, aye, because there was a guy that was kicking about with a suit on, like. Down the punch bag and had the jacket and that on. And you're just like, because he's not got his clays in it, and then you're just like, fuck, the place is nuts. But again, I think I always go back to it because I had Eddie Gorman on here. Eddie was like, Eddie was kind of a big. He's from Ayrshire, and he was like he was a big deal in the criminal world in Scotland at one point, and he's changed his life around massively, and he does Harburn stuff like that now, and it's a very successful charity. Hopefully yours will go the same way as that. Do you know what I mean? But Eddie was talking about how he needed to shatter his ego. His ego needed to get shattered before he could start building himself back up. And it'd be interesting just to even see. Do you think that's kind of what happened to you? Do you think when you went into prison, your ego got burst?
Aye, probably.
It maybe allowed you to start looking at life a wee bit
differently, maybe, man.
Do you know what I mean? Like, analyse yourself and go, I'm not fucking what I think I'm here.
Aye, no, that definitely happened. I'll tell you that, sure, that 110% happened.
No doubt that one. No, I know, and I think I think it is just highlighting that's probably allowed you to, because I do honestly think there's a chance that you could have it in there and maybe bought it. If you'd bought into it, you know what I mean, and maybe like
Banter Boys or something.
Aye, because you see it a lot, and you know what I'm talking about. You see it a lot with guys who are like running a hall and all that,
and then you get the latch ons.
Aye, you get latch ons, but then you'll see somebody come in and they'll shut up. Do you know what I mean? Like, and because somebody bigger, there's always somebody bigger than that.
Every single time.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and then you're like, and you're going, how the fuck's this guy then? You know what I mean? If he's shut up, you know what I mean? But that's how mad it is. Like, the place is nuts, you know what I mean? And especially when you're first in, like, when you first go in, like, obviously I was from Cumbernauld, and I was lucky, very lucky for have people looking out for me, do you know what I mean? And I was lucky when I was wrapped in prisons and stuff, there was somebody there waiting on me, do you know what I mean? I was very, very lucky to have that. But what I did see is so many times your story, and it used to affect me because I used to like the guys that were bullying, right? See, like doing that we were talking about with the legal right and like loading that just to get a laugh, right? That happens all the time, right? It's like no, just you, like that happens all the time, and it's just a group of boys that you actually feel I like them all, and it's hard because you don't like the act. Do you know what I mean? That's happening. You know?
Aye.
Like I used to hate that. I used to go, I don't like that. You know what I mean? But that's how fucked they are.
I know.
Is that they're trying to reflect their pain out
to the others.
Do you know what I mean? On the others, so that they get a laugh at. I mean, I was watching that. Somebody sent me a prison video the other week, and it was like, this guy who clearly looked as if he had learning difficulties, you know what I mean? He didn't even look as if he'd been in a prison, and they were telling him to wash his head in a toilet pan and all that, do you know what I mean? And he was doing it. I don't know if he owed money or whatever, but they were making him, they were cameraing it and all that. It was on YouTube. just to be honest, to come back, I was like, what the fuck are you getting out of that? Do you know what I mean? Like, I've never been that person. I was always like, what are you getting? I can understand when people have got problems with each other. I can understand organised crime. I can understand why that happens. I can understand. And the thing is, with most of the people that are in these high criminal places, they wouldn't allow that type of bullying to go on. When I was there, they were the people that stopped it. And it's hard to, I don't know, it's dead hard to pick and puller it and see where it all comes from, because you could have wrapped into it at a quiet time and it'd be all right, do you know what I mean? Not all right, but you
better
anyway, do you know what I mean? But my whole thing is just like, it's fucking terrible that they just leave you. Your son of them stabbed with a broken jaw, fucking fucked with addiction, riddled with mental health problems, and nobody's even asking you.
No, you just get left to get fucking on with it, innit, man?
Do you know what I mean? Like, how are you managing? How's MD getting out of that? How's
Nobody's getting fixed for that, man.
Do you know what I mean? So you've come out. I honestly can't take my hat off to you as much as I can. Like, it's amazing what you've done in 7 months, and it's amazing that you've managed to turn that around so quickly. Like, it gives other people that will watch this. Other people will see that it's possible. That's what you're doing, Paul. You're giving people that want and that thing, because there's some people that. There's so many people want it, but they just can't.
They don't know how to do it. They've not got it in them to get it either, man.
Aye, but they have. The whole thing is
everybody's got it in them. This is my message. I'm like, out there, man. That every single. I was the junkiest guy ever in Atlanta last year.
Aye.
See if I can get sober. I mean, this Sean, MD in this planet can get sober.
Aye, and I never knew you, Paul, on the beforehand, but I know people who were like fucked, like the exact same as yourself, and now they're running recovery cafes and all that, and they're running recovery cafes at Selleck Park, running recovery. Do you know what I mean? Like, guys that you would have never thought would have been able to change. Do you know what I mean? And they're fucking flying. Do you know what I mean? And they're doing so well. So see some of the people, and even down to some of the people that have changed their life about. Like guys with big reputations and stuff like that, like big huge, and they've managed to change their life about to the better. It's so doable for anybody.
Definitely.
It is. I think that there needs to be more support, but then we're in a world now where there's not a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? And this is the sad thing is they're deeming it. They're trying to. See, to me, like, if you look at addiction, right, they're trying to they're trying to look at the symptoms, right, and they're looking at the symptoms, and then they're trying to, it's just the usual government shit, they're trying to work out. So if you take addiction in the middle, and you got all the different crime and all that, whatever, and all the different bits, the branches that come off that, poverty, inequality, stigma, all that kind of stuff, they're trying to solve the branches
instead of fixing the problem.
Instead of fixing the fucking problem. And the problem is always going to be poverty in these socially deprived areas. You're always going to have addiction, do you know what I mean, and stuff like that, because nobody can. It's not a place to grow. Do you know what I mean? Prisons and all that, aren't they? They're not a place where they should be. You should be able to go to prison, get the opportunity to change. If you don't want to change, then fine, whatever. Do your thing like that, but you should have the opportunity to change. Do you know what I mean? And I do honestly think it's changing, Paul, which I think is good. I think you'll see that when you maybe attend prisons and stuff. I think you'll see that there is some good stuff going on. Do you know what I mean?
I've seen some stuff recently, like the recovery cafes and then prison to rehabs. There's some things.
I know. I heard they stopped the prison to rehabs for the long termers. Do you know what I mean? Which is madness to me. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why you would stop that. I know. See, if somebody fucks it up, one person fucks up.
If it's one person, then fucking.
It doesn't mean 10 people. Like, if I don't know. See the people that I've seen that working with the prison to rehab thing. Honestly, some of the
the success rates of that'll be amazing.
It's and the people that are running it are the right people. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you've got like Natalie and all that. Natalie's in community justice and all that. Like Karen McCluskey and all that. You've got some big people pushing recovery, and I don't know. I just sometimes go like that. Like, where where is the want to fix the fucking root problem?
Aye.
That's my gripe, is where we know that these things aren't going on and we'll guy, and well, they are like that. I mean, addiction doesn't discriminate, do you know what I mean? But it's not going like, I'm not going up to the guy.
Aye, not going up to the girls then, right?
He's pure straight up there. I'll just stay in Blantyre's coming out. But it's a different type of, it's no that chaotic addiction like that.
I know,
mad.
I know that chasing and fucking stealing his feet, robbing things and all the chaos.
But I think, and I've said this to people before, I think you can become addicted to the chaos.
Aye.
So you, in a way, you become addicted to that chaotic behaviour, and your ego's flying. So you become this. Take the drugs and all that away, but if you just sit on that, you're bored. You want to go out and get mad with it, and you want to go to parties and all that, because that's where you think your connection. You're getting connection for that. You're getting validated at these things. Do you know what I mean? Maybe being the man, getting out Valium and all that, whatever it is that's giving you that hanging. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's pushing you forward. But no, it's honestly, I think you'll grow. Just keep growing, Paul, and I think you will keep growing. But just as we're coming up to the end, I'll give you a kind of wee message just that you can give to everybody, and you can kind of tell if you were maybe to talk to the young team, or you were talking to somebody that was maybe going through the same shit you've been through. What's the message that you would give them?
If you're watching this and you've read all my stuff or whatever, man, and you're young, nip it in the bud now, man. Honestly, before you lose everything, you'll lose your life, you'll lose cars, relationships, jobs, finances. Your ma, dad, nobody will want to know yous. And believe me, when I say this, nobody will want to know yous. The only person that can fix this is you. Go to yourself to meetings and get yourself together.
Aye, need to step out. It's just take a wee bit of responsibility into it and just kind of hang it. So any, like your social media stuff, how do people follow you? How do people
just Addicted to Life is my TikTok name, my Facebook name, and obviously Paul Barrett's my name if you can get them through that and all.
Brilliant. Listen, Paul, I can't thank you enough for coming on, man. It's
Thanks
been
very much for
brilliant.
having us. Cheers, Sean, mate.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers,
brilliant.
mate.